Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And today's stream, I'm going to be getting back into some more animation. I got my time charts, and I plan on doing some tweens, implementing some tweens here and there. So let me just look over this animation real quick. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then we have this little segment right here. Hmm. Now, for this frame, what I want to do is sort of have the character model fade in because I am getting a bit better when it comes to animating effects. I've never really animated characters being melded or like being absorbed into anything. So this is actually going to be very interesting for me. I guess what I can do is actually take sort of this frame right here. And then what I can do to sort of sell the melding is sort of like have the character's face sort of get absorbed even. Yeah, I'll probably add like a little cut or something so that I don't dedicate too much time or too many frames to this. So now that I got the main thing, which is this character Trina walking through this portal, like sort of turning back and walking through the portal, I do want to add a few slight changes, at least like little body movements throughout the frame as well. So let's see real quick. Now for Nancy, his character model, since this is more of a subtle motion, I would like to animate him sort of like relaxing because he has this sort of legs crossed motion where he's like looking down almost like very smug, and I do want to relax it a bit. Now his cane, I'm gonna use my tool, my brush tool. And that is actually gonna come up to about right here. So then what I can do is I can take his arms and they can sort of be right here. And it's gonna go from more extended arms to just like more relaxed. So this will probably just be like a quick either 2 or 3 frame transition. And I can probably animate it on a 2 and then 2 1s. And then about halfway past that, so that's going to be, since I'm animating on 24 frames per second after 12 frames, so that's going to be 26. I can sort of animate a frame of Nancy going from looking down to looking over to Ayo. And by that time, Ayo, he's already going to be manifesting the portal for Trina to walk through. And these are just rough skeletons of bodies. Definitely, probably. Oh, sure. So this is just scene two right now. Well, scene two and three. But I decided to do some rough in betweening just to start. That's for this last scene. But hello, welcome to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art, Charcoal. This is just meant to be like a quick scene. Most of the detail is actually going to be in this first segment right here. Let me actually zoom out a bit real quick. I will turn on my that's actually like the first segment of animation that I'm working on. But I do intend on adding like loops and a few more tweens and smaller shapes. This is just meant to be like a bit of an intro scene where we're seeing this character. His name is Nancy. He is a young character. His whole thing is that he uses magic based on illusions, and he is crafting an illusion. He's crafting a sort of distraction so that the rest of his team can actually infiltrate a building. I actually have. Oh, hey, VJ. It's been a minute since I've seen you. How you been? But yeah, I have a storyboard I'm working on. I also have a few designs as well. Just give me a minute to pull them up real quick. But yeah, this is the character sheet for Nancy the Showman. He is an illusionist. I plan on going back through my animation and adding more details, adding more character details. But for now, I'm just working with small skeletons of figures and characters. I'm not trying to go too in depth when I'm just starting out with this animation. And this is another character that I designed as well. She's actually not going to be in this small segment of animation, but I do have plans for her to show up later in the pilot once I get my team together and once we start working on the project as a whole. And then I have two more character sheets, but I do want to take the time to redraw them and update their characters two, because two of their character sheets was a bit rushed. So I am gonna have to do some updating with that. But for the most part, that's really what I have and what I've been working on. But my whole plan is to make a pilot that follows the seven sages. And BJ knows this, but since you're a bit new, Charcoal, I've been working on my own show that draws inspiration from the Bible, specifically the seven things God finds deplorable. It essentially follows these seven men and women who are seeking revenge because they have a righteous fury or righteous hatred. They've each been wronged in their own ways, and they've all sort of come together to seek revenge on the individuals who have wronged them. It takes place in the year 2050, sort of after the new year. There was this event known as the Cascade, which brought magic back to the world. There is actually this verse from the Bible in the book of Revelation about how God is going to dole out his Holy Spirit and that people will do miracles. That is essentially where this comes from, where, like, after the world ended, there was this wave of magic that came out, and now everyone can use magic. Like, there's flying cars, there's witches on brooms, there's floating buildings, there's advanced technology. It's a science fantasy, so it's taking that blend of magic and technology into an advanced, almost platinum age. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It's just I've been going through some personal stuff. I'm sorry, Charcoal. Uh, I might have forgotten you. It's just I've been going through some personal stuff, so I haven't really been streaming as much as I used to or as consistently. But I am doing far better now, and I've definitely stayed in the mood to animate and to continue to draw. So I guess yay for me. But I have been thinking that maybe starting my streams at 10 a.m. is a bit too early or a bit much, even though I have been streaming at, or at least trying to stream around 10 for the longest time. So I may end up starting my streams a bit later, more so around, well, because I live on the East Coast of the US, probably starting around lunchtime or noon proper. So, like, instead of streaming at 10, I'll try to stream at around 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock at the latest. Just to see if I can pull better traction for myself. Because what a lot of streamers do is that they actually stream at night, but I would actually like to stream during the day just because I want to have something, unique for myself. Do some things Like, spruce things up a bit because not many people stream during the day. Especially on places like Twitch. Like, you have folks streaming primarily at night, and then they're trying to fight over viewership of who gets to be seen. Whereas me, I'm like, you know what? Let me stream during the day. Like, that's a pretty quiet time. Not a lot of folks stream during the day. Let me stream during the day. So I do want to keep my block. It's just maybe not stream as early as I have been. Because, like, to an extent, and thank you for saying that, Charcoal, about taking care of myself. But all the time, when you're first starting out, you always get told, oh, you got to stay consistent. You got to make sure you're posting regularly. Make sure you're doing this. Make sure you're doing that. And I have been posting regularly. Like, I feel like I have, especially for the past few months now. It was really only recently when I started slowing down. And it's just like, I feel like sometimes I just can't keep going as I have been, or forcing myself to the extent that I have been. And but even when I wasn't feeling like streaming or wasn't feeling like posting, like I was still deep in prayer. Like I am a very spiritual, faithful man, so like I'll pray or I'll fast or I'll read my Bible, and that really has helped me sort of renew myself, is getting in that spiritual and more prayerful mindset. Because like I guess I'm just the kind of person who draws on my faith for my art. Like a lot of artists nowadays, not saying that they don't have that they don't draw from any spirituality, but like many artists nowadays are definitely more worldly with their art, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just me personally, what I've discovered for myself is I like to draw from my faith, and that's what I enjoy doing. Which is why I like this project that I've been working on for so long, and which is why I've also been thinking of different projects and different sort of creative stories and short animations I can do as well, because I am a person who draws from faith, and me drawing from my faith inspires me to tell stories that are a bit unconventional or to an extent haven't even been seen before. I enjoy redrawing magazines. So like you so like you'll see a manga scene, or you'll see like a nice scene from a manga you like, and you'll just redraw it freehand. Cause that's actually pretty cool. I was actually thinking I could do maybe like a mini comic of one of my ideas. Like I'm thinking Seven Sages can be my animated project, but I do have like this mini side comic that's been running around in my mind that I think it could either take place in the Seven Sages world, or it can be its own project. Because like what I've really been craving is like a fantasy drama, just something with a bit more of like a holy aesthetic to it, because like we have Interview with a Vampire, okay, we have the originals and Vampire Diaries, we even have Riverdale, as much smoke Riverdale gets. But like, what I don't like about those shows, like they can be good sometimes, but like what I don't really like about them is how they sort of deny the power of faith. But like I've had this idea running around my mind about like this project, this story, where it's like it's this family of priests or this family of like spiritualists who draw power from their faith. And so you have like this son, his father, and then their grandfather, and they sort of go around blessing people and healing people, as well as like slaying demons, essentially keeping the spiritual world in check. The project name is called Faith, and I do want to spend more time with it, maybe even make some character designs for it. But that was one of like the big one of the big things I was thinking about off on the side, because like we need more dramas that make you feel good. We need more feel good fantasy dramas. That's just my idea. That's just my feeling on it. Oh, when I had went to the so a while ago, when it comes to voicing a while ago, when it came to the East Coast Gaming Conference, it was this big event where I met a bunch of different game designers as well as folks who work in animation. And there was this one company that does provide voicing. They have like a small team of voice actors. So that's what I was thinking. And then the common thing also to do in animation, especially when it comes to pilots, is just finding people on YouTube to do it as well. The main issue I'm really falling under is the fact that I just don't have the traction I need, because the main thing that I've been pushing towards and working towards is I at least need to get 1,000 subscribers. Like if I can get 1,000 subscribers, then that is enough social pull and social capital on my channel in order to push myself forward on what I seek to do. If I can get 1,000 subscribers, then I can use that as a proof of concept to show, hey, I can start a Kickstarter or I can start a GoFundMe. I can start doling out more character designs, maybe write some short stories as well, work on a few more mini animations, or just work on character art in general, as well as host special live streams, sort of like what Vivzy Pop did for Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. That's sort of the route I'm trying to go to. But I've also been trying to network with other artists, with other animators, especially black artists and black animators. And what I would like to do is definitely get some really good talent to voice these characters, to work on this pilot with me. Because having an idea, having a concept is one thing, but if you don't have the skill or team to build it up and develop it, you're not really going to go anywhere far. And again, because I don't have any money or funds to draw on, I'm going to need to find a way to get money because, this is just a passion project for me, for myself. The main issue is that not everyone is going to be down for this passion project. Folks are going to want to get paid. So I have to have a safety net. And even I personally do not want to draw on the goodness and kindness of other people. If this is going to be a big gig project, I'm going to want to be able to pay people. And so in order to pay people, I'm going to have to use word of mouth, use branding, as well as just show tangible results for this project to get some form of funding for it. And that's really one of the major reasons why I'm glad that I found Faith, because it gives me something to draw on. It gives me a bit of hope. Like, I'm not gonna move anywhere without God say so. Like, I'm not gonna push for something or try to do something when God says not to do it. So really my faith has been just the big pusher for me, as well as what has been keeping me going, because not everyone is as faithful for as me, but I genuinely do believe that I'm as far as I am right now because of my faith. And I haven't reached the numbers as I have yet because there are still a few more spiritual hurdles, or God is sort of reserving me or putting me aside until He feels and He knows I'm ready. But I do, in fact, feel that a story like this and stories that draw on faith are definitely necessary in this time, because it is a bit of a difficult time right now. Like, look at the animation industry and just how everything looks like it's going up in flames with them. Like, drama going out, the actors and writers strike, and then we have P. Diddy and his allegations, and just all artists and actors in general scrambling for the hills because They was doing some very dark, very ugly underground stuff. So entertainment and media by itself is not bad, but there definitely is room for more content that draws from faith that can keep people hopeful and keep people positive. And that's not necessarily to say, like, oh, all media should just be one to one recreations of Bible stories. Like, I'm not down with that. Like, I don't fully agree with that. Not saying that it shouldn't be done. I definitely do think that there is a place for spiritual content in that vein where it is one to one recreations of biblical stories, or it is something more like Veggie Tales where you have like that 2 or 3 minute break where the vegetables recite a Bible verse. But I do think also that we can have stories that just draw from faith. Like, how cool would it be if we took the story of David and Goliath and how David was this boy who became a king and he took a stone and killed a giant? Like, that could easily be a story about like a young boy from a village who is fighting an evil wizard, or a knight who is going to kill a dragon. And it could be like this allegorical, almost spiritual succession of that story of David and Goliath. Or we could take the story of Jacob and his 12 sons, like the sons of Israel, and go on to this like big allegorical storytelling of like, there was like a tribe of 12 people, or there was a tribe of 7 people, and how like they were this, like each son had like a special ability, but like the youngest child was set to rule over them and they went to war. Like, that could be like a big allegorical story. Or we could even go deeper into more like the darker stories of the Bible, like the destruction of Shechem and how Simeon and Reuben, they like, for real, like there are some really dark stories in the Bible. Like, it's not necessarily a feel good book, it's like a history book. Like, literally, in the story of Shechem, essentially what happened was Reuben and Simeon's youngest sister, Dinah, she was like, some bad things happened to her by one person who lived in Shechem. And so, like, Simeon and Reuben, like, they were so freaking pissed. They went into that town and they just slaughtered everybody. They slaughtered all the men. And then, like, they stole a bunch of gold from them. Like, that is. Like, that has room to be a very good, very meaningful story about righteousness, because I do like stories that have spiritual depictions, but I think where Has Been Hotel sort of drops the ball is towards the end, they sort of conflate heaven with being good or being kind to people. And it is sort of a bare bones expression. And Vipsy Pop did say that, I don't remember specifically what she said, but she did say something along the lines of she's not a spiritual person, or more like she's not trying to go too in depth with Christianity. But the major thing I would say with that is it's not necessarily a fact of being good to people or being kind. It's more so about being righteous and being selfless. Like, that's the main draw, or that's the main thing about Christianity and the way in general. It's not merely a matter of like accepting Jesus Christ. Like, that is That's a big part of it. You do have to accept Jesus Christ, but you also have to live a righteous life. Like you can't give easily into your temptations and desires. You have to give up on your flesh. And so I do hope that at least for Hazbin Hotel season 2, they do try to converse more with like spiritual experts as well as spiritual scholars on that delineation between being good and being righteous, because being good doesn't get you into heaven, getting being righteous does. But that's like a greater discussion for a later day. I just went on a religious tirade. Don't tear my head off. Oh, go ahead, do some studying. You guys can come and go as you please. Don't feel the need to just stay here for my sake. But I am glad that you came by and talked, Charcoal. Definitely feel free to come back sooner. So, right here, I'm going to paste this, and then right here, I'm going to copy. So, I'm trying to figure out, there's something more that needs to be added here, but I mean, I do know that I want to animate some more effects for this segment right here. I guess my main issue is just it feels like something is wrong with this, or something's not being. I mean, because I got the elephant, I got like the picture light show. Maybe I need to add a few more particles around. I could probably do that. I got the basic motion down. Maybe it just looks weird because I don't have any character features yet. Let me consult my storyboard. How long have I been streaming now? 50 minutes? That's not too bad. Give me a second to think. I mean, because I've just been doing this for like a while now. Maybe the segment's just too short, or maybe it doesn't need to be that long. I don't know. Maybe this was just supposed to be a simple little scene, little segment that's meant to segue over into the remainder. The rem- uh, the remainder of the short film. But I've already done like a lot, and this definitely felt like it was going to be the biggest segment I did. Like these two right here, scenes back to back. Now, this is definitely the longest segment I feel like I've done, and that's going to be using a few loops when I finally put my final coat over it. I think my neighbors are doing something out in the yard. And let's do scene 4 real quick. I think scene 4 is pretty good. All I need to do is just in between this. And then because I don't want to keep animating, and because I don't want to keep animating a bunch of scenes or keep splitting up my animation in a bunch of streams, scenes, I'll probably end up just animating this character, sort of doing a body body pan, or more like a 180 that goes from a frontal to like a side view, and it'll sort of pan over to the female character as she's sort of jumping out of the portal and then walking into a building. So let me actually do that real quick. Didn't mean to do that. So I think for this, what I do want to do is sort of add some weight. So let me actually write a quick note. I'll probably write on the time chart. The time chart frame I make. So that's a nice little note to leave myself. So I'll probably rough it out off stream. Mm, I think I did pretty good for this stream. I better get going. I don't want to keep you guys here forever. I know you guys have better things you need to do. So I will leave you guys here. So I did make a lot of progress. Um, I am now, I want to say five. Yeah, I want to say I'm 5 scenes in on this scene grab from my pilot. So that was pretty nice. That was pretty fun. I hope you all enjoyed my process because I will be coming back to this and trying to add a bit more, do a bit more on my off time. But for now, when your mom calls, you gotta answer, and I gotta go through the house and do some chores around the house. So pray for me, pray I get it done. Anyway, like I said, I do hope you all enjoyed. I stream on Tuesdays and Fridays around noon. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. This has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And I'll see you guys in my next video or live stream. Road to 500. Once I reach 500 subscribers, I plan on hosting a special 5-hour long live stream. And I will be redrawing one of my first OCs. When I reach 1,000 subscribers, that's when I plan on hosting a special Q&A live stream. So, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.